zone by Javon Walker.
The NFL's worst free agent signings of all time. What's the worst free agent signing in NFL history? $100 million for a defensive tackle who quit on his team? $72 million for a quarterback with 7 career starts? $60 million for a cornerback who forgot how to play defense? These weren't just bad contracts, these were franchise-crippling disasters that set teams back for years. Here's the truth. These 10 free agent signings didn't just waste money, they destroyed locker rooms, ended coaching careers, and proved that desperation leads to devastation. This isn't just a ranking, this is a definitive list of the worst free agent signings in NFL history. Number 10. Kenny Golladay. Signed with the New York Giants in 2021, a 4-year $72 million contract with $40 million guaranteed for a receiver who started every game just once in his career. Golladay had success with the Detroit Lions, surpassing 1,000 receiving yards in both 2018 and 2019. He made the Pro Bowl in 2019 with 1,190 yards and 11 touchdowns, but the 2020 season saw Golladay play just 5 games due to injury. Giants general manager Dave Gettleman ignored the warning signs and backed up the Brinks truck anyway. Galladay's time in New York was a disaster from day one. In 2021, he caught just 37 passes for 521 yards and 0 touchdowns. 0 touchdowns for a $72 million receiver is embarrassing. Things got worse in 2022. Golladay started only 4 games and caught 6 passes for 81 yards. He became a healthy scratch multiple times as the Giants gave up on him completely. The Giants released Golladay after the 2022 season. His 2 years in New York ended with 43 catches for 602 yards and 1 touchdown total. That's $40 million guaranteed for essentially nothing. This signing showed that injury history matters, and paying for past production rather than future projection is a recipe for disaster. Number 9. Nnamdi Asomugha, signed with the Philadelphia Eagles in 2011, a 5-year $60 million contract with $25 million guaranteed.
Now that I'm here, it's been looking forward to just getting more acclimated to the city and acclimated to my teammates.
For a cornerback who forgot how to play defense. Asomugha was a shutdown corner with the Oakland Raiders, making 3 Pro Bowls and earning 2 first-team All-Pro selections. In 2008, he had 8 interceptions and was considered the best cornerback in football. The Eagles thought Asomugha would be the final piece for a Super Bowl run. Philadelphia spent big money on multiple free agents in 2011, creating what many called a dream team. But Asomugha's game fell off a cliff. In 2 seasons with Philadelphia, he managed just 95 tackles.
The end zone. And you watch here, I don't know that Asomugha needed to grab like that.
17 passes defended and 4 interceptions, while allowing a 92.4 opposing passer rating. Those are terrible numbers for a shutdown corner. The Eagles went 8-8 in 2011, missing the playoffs entirely. Things got worse in 2012 when Philadelphia finished 4-12, leading to head coach Andy Reid being fired after 14 seasons. Asomugha signed with the San Francisco 49ers in 2013, but was waived after playing in just 3 games. He signed a 1-day contract with Oakland to retire with the team that made him a star. This signing proved that even elite players can suddenly decline, and that building a dream team in free agency doesn't work. Number 8. Le'Veon Bell signed with the New York Jets in 2019, a 4-year $52.5 million contract for a running back who sat out an entire season. Bell was a 2-time All-Pro and 3-time Pro Bowler with the Pittsburgh Steelers. From 2014 to 2017, he averaged over 1,600 yards from scrimmage per season while showcasing elite receiving skills. But Bell sat out the entire 2018 season in a contract dispute with Pittsburgh. The Jets ignored the year-long layoff and gave him a massive contract anyway. Bell averaged a career-low 3.2 yards per carry in 2019, his first season with New York. He rushed for just 789 yards and 3 touchdowns in 15 games while adding 66 catches for 461 yards. Things fell apart in 2020. Bell suffered a hamstring injury in Week 1 and was placed on injured reserve. After returning in Week 5, he liked a tweet suggesting the Jets should trade him. New York tried, but found no suitors. The Jets released Bell after Week 5 of the 2020 season. He played 17 games total for New York with 863 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. The contract was a complete disaster. Bell tried to revive his career with Kansas City and Baltimore, but never recaptured his Pittsburgh form. The signing showed that running backs who miss a full year rarely return to elite form. Number 7. Brock Osweiler signed with the Houston Texans in 2016, a 4-year $72 million contract for a quarterback with 7 career starts. Osweiler started 7 games for the Denver Broncos in 2015 when Peyton Manning was injured. He went 5-2 as a starter, throwing for 1,967 yards with 10 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. That half season convinced Houston to make Osweiler one of the highest paid quarterbacks in football. The contract made him higher paid than Matthew Stafford and Alex Smith despite minimal experience. Osweiler was terrible in 2016. He threw 15 touchdowns and 16 interceptions with the 5th worst interception rate in the NFL. He averaged a negative 0.08 EPA per dropback, the 3rd worst that season. The Texans somehow won the AFC South and defeated Oakland in the wildcard round, but Osweiler wasn't a viable starter, and Houston benched him multiple times during the season. The embarrassment reached its peak when Houston traded Osweiler along with a 2nd-round pick and a 6th-round pick to Cleveland in exchange for a 4th-round pick. The Texans paid draft capital just to get rid of him after 1 season. Osweiler started 3 games for Cleveland in 2017 before being released. His career fizzled out after that disaster. This signing proved that small sample sizes lie and that paying for potential rather than proven production is dangerous. Number 6. Nick Foles signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2019, a 4-year $88 million contract with $50.125 million guaranteed for a backup quarterback. Foles was the Super Bowl 52 MVP after leading Philadelphia to victory over New England. He threw for 373 yards and 3 touchdowns in one of the greatest Super Bowl performances ever. Foles helped the Eagles win another playoff game in January 2019, defeating Chicago 16-15 in the wildcard round. Jacksonville thought they found their franchise quarterback, but disaster struck immediately. Foles suffered a broken clavicle in the first quarter of Week 1 against Kansas City. He missed 8 games while Jacksonville went 2-6 without him. Foles returned in Week 11 and went 0-4 in his 4 starts. He threw for just 736 yards with 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in those games. The Jaguars finished 6-10 and missed the playoffs. Jacksonville traded Foles to the Chicago Bears after just 1 season. The Bears gave up a compensatory 4th-round pick, taking on his massive contract. Foles backed up Mitch Trubisky in Chicago before being traded again. His Jacksonville tenure lasted 5 games with 0 wins and 1 broken clavicle. This signing showed that Super Bowl MVP performances don't guarantee future success, and that injury-prone quarterbacks are risky investments. Number 5. Adam Archuleta signed with the Washington Redskins in 2006, a 6-year $30 million contract that made him the highest-paid safety in NFL history. Archuleta had success with the St. Louis Rams, recording 351 combined tackles, 3 interceptions, and 5 forced fumbles. He was known as a hard-hitting safety who could stuff the run. Washington made him the richest safety ever, expecting him to anchor their defense for years. Instead, Archuleta started just 7 of 16 games in 2006. He struggled badly in pass coverage, allowing receivers to run free. Archuleta recorded 60 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 1 sack. Those are backup level numbers, not highest paid safety numbers. Archuleta was eventually replaced in the starting lineup by Troy Vincent and demoted to special teams duty. He complained publicly about head coach Joe Gibbs' usage of him. After less than 1 calendar year in Washington, Archuleta was traded to the Chicago Bears for a 6th-round pick. He played 1 season in Chicago before being cut by Oakland in training camp. His NFL career ended at age 30 after 1 disastrous season in Washington. The contract became a cautionary tale about overpaying for safeties. This signing proved that making someone the highest paid player at their position requires certainty, not hope. Number 4. Javon Walker signed with the Oakland Raiders in 2008, a 6-year $55 million contract with $16 million guaranteed for an injury-prone receiver. Walker had 1 elite season with Green Bay in 2004, catching 89 passes for 1,382 yards and 12 touchdowns. He made the Pro Bowl and looked like a future star. But Walker tore his ACL in 2005, missing the entire season. He bounced back with Denver in 2006 and 2007, catching 69 passes for 1,084 yards and 8 touchdowns in 2007. The Raiders ignored his injury history and gave him a massive contract anyway. 3 weeks after signing, Walker was beaten and robbed of $100,000 in cash and jewelry. He also suffered a concussion in the attack. Walker played in just 8 games in 2008 with 15 catches and 1 touchdown before landing on injured reserve with an ankle injury. In 2009, he played in only 3 games with no statistics. Oakland released Walker after 2 seasons. His Raiders career ended with 15 catches and 11 games total. The $16 million guaranteed was essentially thrown away. This signing showed that injury-prone players rarely stay healthy and that paying for 1 good season is foolish. Number 3. Antonio Brown signed with the Oakland Raiders in 2019, a 3-year $50.125 million contract with $30.125 million guaranteed for a receiver who never played a single game. Brown was one of the NFL's best receivers from 2010 to 2018 with Pittsburgh. He made 7 Pro Bowls and earned 4 first-team All-Pro selections while leading the league in receptions twice. But Brown's behavior became increasingly erratic in 2018. He feuded with quarterback Ben Roethlisberger and missed crucial team meetings. Pittsburgh traded him to Oakland for 3rd and 5th round picks. Brown's time with the Raiders was a circus. He suffered frostbite on his feet from a cryotherapy accident. He refused to wear the league-mandated helmet and threatened to retire over it. Brown called general manager Mike Mayock a cracker and posted their private fine letter on Instagram. He demanded his release after the Raiders voided his guarantees. Oakland released Brown before Week 1 of the 2019 season. He played 0 games for the Raiders despite the massive contract. The entire situation was an embarrassment. Brown signed with New England but lasted 1 game before being released amid legal issues. His career essentially ended after leaving Pittsburgh. This signing proved that character concerns matter and that elite talent doesn't overcome toxic behavior. Number 2. Kirk Cousins signing with the Atlanta Falcons in 2024, a 4-year $180 million contract with $100 million guaranteed for a 35-year-old quarterback coming off a torn Achilles. Cousins had success with Minnesota from 2018 to 2023, making 4 Pro Bowls, but he tore his Achilles in Week 8 of the 2023 season, ending his year at age 35. Atlanta gave Cousins the massive contract anyway, betting he could return to form. Then they shocked everyone by drafting quarterback Michael Penix Jr. with the 8th overall pick 2 months later. Cousins went 7-7 as Atlanta's starter in 2024 before being benched for Penix. The Falcons missed the playoffs despite high expectations. Atlanta is now expected to either have Cousins as a backup or release him, taking on massive dead cap charges. The $100 million guaranteed makes cutting him financially painful. This signing is still developing, but it already looks like a disaster. Paying a 35-year-old coming off Achilles surgery, then drafting his replacement, is organizational malpractice. The Falcons could have drafted a quarterback and built around a rookie contract instead of gambling on Cousins' health. Number 1. Albert Haynesworth signed with the Washington Redskins in 2009, a 7-year $100 million contract with $41 million guaranteed. The worst free agent signing in NFL history. Haynesworth was one of the best defensive tackles in football with Tennessee from 2007 to 2008. He earned 2 consecutive first-team All-Pro selections and 2 Pro Bowl nods. In 2007, Haynesworth finished 2nd in Defensive Player of the Year voting. In 2008, he finished 4th while recording 8.5 sacks, 41 solo tackles, and 15 tackles for loss. Washington made Haynesworth the highest paid defensive player in NFL history. If that contract were signed in 2025 with the same percentage of the salary cap, it would be worth 7 years and $226.8 million. But Haynesworth quit on the Redskins immediately. In 2009, he recorded just 30 tackles and 4 sacks while publicly questioning the coaching staff. He was known for not getting up after plays and giving a half-hearted effort. Things got worse in 2010. Haynesworth clashed constantly with head coach Mike Shanahan over the defensive scheme. He refused to participate in conditioning tests and created constant drama. Haynesworth was suspended multiple times and played in just 8 games in 2010. Washington traded him to New England in 2011 for a 5th-round pick, eating most of his contract. Haynesworth played 1 forgettable season in New England before spending 2011 with Tampa Bay. His career ended in 2012 at age 31. The Redskins paid $100 million for 2 seasons of terrible effort and constant headaches. The contract set the franchise back for years and became an NFL cautionary tale. This is the worst free agent signing in NFL history. $100 million for a player who quit on his team, destroyed the locker room, and produced nothing. The gold standard for disastrous free agency decisions. These 10 free agent signings represent the worst decisions in NFL history. From Haynesworth's $100 million disaster to Golladay's 0 touchdowns, these contracts destroyed franchises. The lessons are clear. Don't overpay for small sample sizes. Don't ignore injury history. Don't ignore character concerns. Don't pay for past production when future production is uncertain. Washington appears on this list multiple times, showing that some franchises struggle with free agency more than others. The Raiders, Giants, Eagles, and Texans also made terrible decisions. Every signing seemed logical at the time. Haynesworth was dominant, Cousins was a Pro Bowler, Brown was elite, but all of them failed spectacularly. Thanks for watching this journey through NFL free agency disasters. Hit subscribe for more football content. And remember, desperation leads to devastation. The worst signings happen when teams panic and overpay. That's what makes NFL free agency so dangerous.